Hey, 7th graders, it's Mr. Allard with one of our flip lessons. This is going to be our first flip lesson of the year. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your paper, which is right here. Okay, 7-Up Sentences in 5 Easy Steps. Alright, that is going to help us a lot with probably what you're going to hand in the most this year, which is going to be your vocab foldable, which you also should have picked up today in class. You can find both of these on the Schoology page if you're looking for them, or you can come grab another one if the door is open. Just grab them off the cart in the room. So what we're going to do is this is going to be quick notes. Alright, it's fill in the blank. So where you see a bold or underlined portion on the screen, you're going to make sure that fits in the corresponding spot on your note sheet. This is going to get cut out, put into our interactive notebook. This is going to be page 3, I believe. This is going to be page 4. Alright, let's rock and roll. Alright, so first thing about 7-Up Sentences is, number 1, the name kind of gives away what they're supposed to be. It's supposed to be a sentence with 7 or more words. So the first thing I'm going to do when I look at your sentences on your vocabulary terms is I'm simply going to count the words. Right, there has to be 7 or more. And to be honest with you, if you are really focused in writing a good sentence, you will have much more than 7 words in your vocabulary word. Alright? And actually, I'm going to give you one because one of these words has to be your vocabulary word. So for example, the first vocabulary word at the top here is history. In your sentence, you have to have the word history. If that word's not there, it's just going to be a 0. Alright? The other one that the other thing you can do with words like instead of history, you could have historical, political, you could have politics, things like that. So in other words, you can use other forms of the word. Some of our vocabulary words are going to be easier said than done with using some of those, but we'll kind of talk about that as we go. Lots of times you could add an ed, an ing, you could use plurals of the word, stuff like that. That will help you kind of use the vocabulary words in a different way. Some words you cannot use. You cannot use the word I, it, they, them, this, or those. We can obviously, as the year goes on and we kind of show what type of words we're using inappropriately, we can add to this list. But the reason why you can't use these words is these words don't show you know what the word means. For example, if you say they liked history, who is your they? We've got to be specific, all right? Historians like history. Okay, now we're getting a little bit better. Why do historians like history? Historians like history because they like to study things that happened long ago to predict what's going to happen today. Look at how different that sentence is by switching out the they and adding some details. All right. Say also, no I's. I know these are your sentences. Your name should be on there, so we shouldn't have any of the I's on there as well. Alright, and you're going to hear me say this a ton of time about just about everything you do here. If you want to be terrific, you got to be specific. You can say who they are. You can say who it is. You can say what this is or them are or those is. So just say it. Tell me the people you're talking about. Tell me what you're talking about, and your sentences will be just fine. Underline the vocabulary word in your sentence. We're going to do this for 2 reasons, okay? Number 1, it's going to help you make sure that the vocabulary word is in there. Number 2, it's going to help me make sure you put the vocabulary word in there. All right, so whenever you write your sentence, underline that vocabulary word. I probably won't take points off of this, but it's going to make both of our lives a lot easier. Again, you have to have the vocabulary word in your sentence at least once. For those folks who are seeking out bonus points, all right, one of the ways you can get bonus points is by including more than one vocabulary term in your sentence. All right, if I'm looking at these sentences, for example, I could probably get political and social in the same sentence, right? I could probably talk about many people post political thoughts on social media. That's a decent one, all right? I could kind of replace it so many people post their political thoughts about how the government should be run on social media. That would be a sentence. Don't get to use it. Copyrighted, Allard 2017. All right, but that's just another way, again, because why would I give you a bonus point for that? If you can use one word in a sentence, awesome. If you can use two words in a sentence, man, you really know what you're talking about on these vocabulary terms. The biggest point of this is to show me what you know. All right, so I'm going to look at this sentence and I'm going to read it and I'm going to say, does this sentence show that this person writing the sentence knows what this vocabulary word means? All right. So somebody who writes a sentence like history is the study of the past. I don't think that person knows what history is. Why? Because they legitimately copied the definition. That's a no-no. I can teach my cat to copy the definitions. I don't want you copying the definitions. All right. Maybe you take what part of history are they studying? So the historians studied the Civil War to help explain why there's differences between the North and South. There, that person knows way more about history than the person who just copied down the definition. You're going to hear us say this a lot, no purple sentences. Your sentence got to make sense, all right? Or, you know, somebody who writes, I like history. Okay, great. You can also like baseball. Are baseball and history the same thing? Absolutely not. So if I can replace your word out of your sentence and put purple in and it still makes sense, that's not a good sentence, right? I like purple. Still makes sense. Not a good sentence for your vocabulary pool. Sentences must be historically accurate, and here's where students get in trouble. Okay? They get in trouble two ways. First way, you go on to the Googles. This is me typing on the Googles. Type. And you search sentence using the word history. And then you copy that first sentence down and you say, Mr. Allard will never find this. Guys, I am way better at finding stuff on Google than you are. It's just a fact. You probably don't get past the first three things that Google gives you. I can search specifically. You know, that's what I was trained to do in college. That's what you'll be trained to do probably by the time you leave high school. Don't Google sentences. I will find them. I will give you a 0 the first time. We will bring in mom and dad the second time. And third time, that's probably some bad news with you being in school anymore. Don't do it. If you can find it on Google, know that I can find it quicker and easier than you did. All right. Number two, the other thing is, what's going to give it away is you're going to put stuff on there that you have no idea what it is. All right, you're going to be writing a sentence about the history of the Treaty of Versailles and its impact on Germany during the Habsburg Revolution, blah, 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 blah. We don't talk about that. Focus on what we're doing in class. It's going to make it simpler for you. The 7UP sentences, we go by a little acronym. KISS your sentences. Keep it simple, silly. Do not overthink these. Do not try to wow me with your historical knowledge, because right now as 7th graders, lots of you simply don't have it yet, and that's okay. You will get it by the end of the year. Trust me, it's a process. So keep your sentences simple, all right, as simple as possible. So when you're over the course of this week, when you're writing your 7UP sentence, remember a 5 has to be more than 7 words, all right? No I's, its, they's, them's, those's. Underline your vocabulary word in your sentence. Show me what you know. Don't copy paste off Google. Sentence must be historically accurate. If you have those 5 things in each of your 5 sentences, these vocab word sentences will be super easy for you. All right. If you have any questions, send me a message on, if it's particularly just for me, send me a message on Schoology. If the whole class can help, just make a post on the Schoology page. All right, keep working hard.